If freedom failed. We'd like to take you on a visit to a town that doesn't exist, a town we call Springfield, USA. We'd like to show you how things would be in any American town if communism took over. This is the story of what would happen to one segment of American life under a communist regime. With Sheldon Leonard as Benny, here is the story of a handicap.
All passengers this way. All passengers of the Florida Special, follow me. This way, all passengers. Passengers will line up single file to show their papers. Single file, don't startle their comrade. Line up, single file.
All right, ladies, I'm lining up.
Well, look at our papers in New York, and the train don't make any stops, so why do we have...
Shut up, all of you! Shut up! You there.
Yes, comrade?
Show your papers to the inspector. Travel permit first.
Yes, sir.
Your name's Handicap.
Handicap, Barber.
Where's your work permit?
Right here, sir.
These inspections are for your benefit, you know. They're your protection against enemies of the state. You understand that, don't you, Capus?
Yes, sir.
Good. Authorization to travel from Springfield to Miami Beach granted under seasonal labor regulation, right? Where are you going to work, Capus?
Hotel Carlton, barber shop.
Very well. Next.
Move on, Cabas.
Next, I said.
All right, ladies. So here I am. Rush. Everything in a rush. Line up the cups. Rush. Press the pants. Rush. Show the papers. Rush. All right, ladies.
Guard! Any more complaints, comrade?
No.
Your name is Max Raiden, is that correct?
Correct, yes. Max Raiden.
Taylor?
Taylor.
Also at the Carlton, valet service, correct?
Valet service, correct, yes.
Next.
Get along, Raiden. Come on, rush! Rush!
Good morning, Comrade Inspector. My name is Lustgard. Victor Lustgard. Here's my travel permit and my work certificate. As you can see, I'm the maître, the head waiter at the Carlton. Should you ever come to the Carlton for dinner, Inspector, please don't hesitate.
This is not the hotel dining room, Lustgarten. You don't need to fawn on me. Save it for the commissars. Next. Blodgett.
Isabel Blodgett.
So I see.
You know, Inspector, you're the spitting image of some very dear friends of mine from Cecilia, Kentucky, that is. I don't suppose you happen to know them or be related. They're a fine old Southern family, the Rawls.
I would hardly be related to them, Comrade Blodgett. I'm from Illinois. My people are working people, not fine old degenerate slave-owning families.
Why?
You have a work permit, Comrade?
No, sir. I'm just here for the big race, the handicap. Here's my authorization. I expect you'll find it in order, sir.
When you address an official, you address him as Comrade, not Sir. Remember that, Blodgett.
I'll do my best. May I go now, comrade?
You may. Next.
Your bus is just ahead, Comrade Blodgett. Move along.
Of course, I know you don't ask me this, Inspector, but if you do ask me, I will say to you that there is one good-looking pancake.
What?
Well, I'm referring to that Miss Isabel Blodgett who just walks away from here and who, if I am not much mistaken, stands maybe, I don't know, 16 hands high, probably weighs in around 110, which all other matters considered is a very nice arrangement as pancakes
I don't
go.
know what you're talking about. Your name's Blossom, I see. Ben Blossom.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell, Inspector. However, all my friends, they call me Benny the Book, and this is because I'm a bookkeeper, you see.
Yeah, employed by the state. You would work at the track. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Inspector. I'm supposed
I'm not interested in what you're to do, Blossom, but I've seen your type before, and I warn you, keep clean.
Why, Inspector, it is common knowledge everywhere that I am as clean as a J-boy. Even cleaner, maybe, considering there are many J-boys don't bathe sometimes for weeks.
All right, comrade. Get into the bus.
Next.
Into the bus with you.
Next.
Anything you say, guard. Yes, sir. Say, by the way, Inspector, if you ever wish to place a few dibs on a horse, you just come to the window. Ask for Benny. Well, folks, what's new round and about? I said, I guess we'll have quite some racing season this year, huh? Yeah. Hey, why is everybody so quiet? After all, it's not like we failed to pass the inspection back there at the station. Hey, handicapper.
Please, Benny, don't call me Handicap. My name is Handicap.
Yeah, I know. All right. Look, is there something wrong with me? Why do I get such a cold shoulder?
You see, Miss Blodgett, there are some types you cannot insult, particularly those who are working for the communists.
Now, hold it. I beg your pardon there, friend. I'm not so sure I don't resent that statement. Are you by any chance referring to yours truly? Because if you are, I want you to take it back.
Why should I?
Because it's an untruth, that's why. And if it's not so dangerous to shoot off your mouth in public, well, I tell you why.
Please do. You are quite safe in this bus. If you do not believe me, ask your friend, Mr. Kappas.
That's right, Benny.
Unless, of course, you fear Miss Blodgett to be a communist informer.
Oh, you know very well I don't think such a thing of Miss Isabel Blodgett.
Yeah, right. We are waiting, then.
Well, all right. All right? It all begins back when the commies were making everybody register for work. You remember that, don't you, handicapper? Well, I'm in Springfield at the time.
Oh, sure, Benny, sure.
Yeah. So they ask me, what's my profession, they say. And I of course, I state that I am a turf advisor.
Turf advisor, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So look, it's no use. You won't understand.
Oh, yes, we will, Mr. Blossom. Please go ahead.
Oh, thanks. All right, I will, Miss Blodgett. Yeah. Well, I tell them I'm a turf advisor, you see, and they say to me, they say, we have no use for a turf advisor in our 5-year plan, except perhaps maybe to work in assault mines, and you would probably not care to work there. And of course, I state quickly I probably will not care for this one bit because I'm not particularly fond of salt, except maybe once in a while to put a head on a stein of beer, you know, or just to maybe season up a surgeon's sandwich on pumpernickel, something like that. Well, they say to me, that's a shame because there is not much that can be done about it, although they do happen to know of an opening which I may be interested in, you see. And, you know, I can't afford to be choosy at that time, so I say to them, what is this opening? And they say, as you no doubt know, we just take over the racetracks, they say, and of course we remove all the pari-mutuel machines for the reason that it is not such an easy matter to get the totalizator to follow the party line and to fix the odds so that the track keeps most of the sugar that it takes in. Yeah? We want you, they say, to be a human totalizator and to juggle the odds for every race so that only the citizens lose their scratch and not the party, understand? Well, this don't seem to me quite kosher because it's welshing on the book you make, and even a bookie don't like to do this. So I say to him, how do you juggle the odds without everybody tearing down a joint when they hear of it? Oh, that's very easy, they say. We never post the odds till after the race. Anyhow, they say, we always keep a great many party police handy with Tommy guns just in case a few citizens get rambunctious. And they say, we hope that you will take this because we try to put some mathematics professor from the party on this job, but they mess it up more than somewhat because they get too interested in the horses. And that's why we figured that only a bookie can handle it. That is, unless the bookie prefers to go to the salt mines. So that's how I happen to be in Florida and not in the salt mines. Which I'm sure that nobody's going to blame me. In fact, I don't see where I'm doing anything which is worse than what everybody else on this bus does, except for Miss Isabel Blodgett, of course, who's here only because it's in her blood and because she's from Kentucky, where they would rather race horses than do anything except drink mint juleps, maybe. The way I look at it, if I make book for the commies, it's no worse than handicapper here sharing their noggins or a tailor pressing their jeans or you over there jockeying them to their tables because we're all very bad citizens. Yeah, there's a time, of course, when I think that I'm a 100% American citizen because I served my country in a war and I'm cited at Omaha Beach. There's one year I even pay an income tax. Then the commies start to take over and, I don't know, I'm just like everybody else. I'm 100% sucker. I just stand around. I'm watching because I figure this is none of my put in, and the next thing I know, it's no longer possible to be 100% American. And the only ticket you can vote is the straight commie ticket. And they don't play the Star Spangled Banner anymore, but there's some vulgar boatman song they bring over. And there's a permit for everything you want to do. As for the income tax, that's not so much a worry, because now there's no income for anybody to get his dukes on. So that's why I say that I'm no more of a bum for what I'm doing than you are. The way I look at it, the only 100% Americans are the ones who die to stay that way. Well, guess I held you folks up long enough, and if it's all the same with some of you, I'll be going now.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm going to apologize to Mr. Blossom for being so snooty. Mr. Blossom! Mr. Blossom! Wait for me. Oh, Mr. Blossom.
Yeah?
Mr. Blossom, I'd like to shake your hand.
Me?
I don't doubt you made some mistakes in your time, but at least you have the courage to admit them, and, well, I admire you for that, Mr. Blossom.
Well, thank you, Miss Blodgett.
Furthermore, as you're no doubt aware, I'm the owner of Defiance, the racehorse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm quite aware of this. Also, it may surprise you quite some to know that I am able to give you his track records all the way from Santa Anita to Belmont.
I was sure you could, Mr. Blossom, and that's the reason I thought maybe you might give me the benefit of your track experience.
Well...
You see, I'm all alone in this world, and...
Oh, Miss Blodgett, I will be most happy to do all that I can. In fact, for you, Miss Blodgett, I would go out and I would paint Biscayne Boulevard red, white, and blue right under the commies' noses.
Oh, Mr. Blossom.
You want a shampoo too, Benny?
No, not this time, Handicapper. I'm somewhat in a hurry because I have it fixed to put on the feed bag with Miss Isabel Blodgett. And, of course, I don't wish to be late to the post for this event.
So here you are, at every place I've been looking for you. Upstairs, downstairs. Let me give you some advice, young fella. Once in a while, you should stay put. This rush is no good for you. It'll give you a bad heart, blood pressure, ulcers even.
Well, thank you for the advice, Mr. Radin, and I'm sorry that I put you to so much trouble, but I don't figure that you'll be looking for me after the deep freeze you give me on a bus.
So I made a mistake already. I can't change my mind. Now listen to me. Just now, I'm picking up a pair of pants to be pressed. They should be ready for the Handicap by Mr. Johnson, the Commissar of Sports. So he's on the telephone and he's saying, I am not worrying about Defiance. No, I am not worrying about Defiance 1 inch a bit. You should pardon the expression, it's his exact wording.
Well, Mr. Radin,
Call me Max.
Yeah, all right, Max. I think I know why he says that, but I thank you all the same. I'll remember it.
Well, this is nothing yet. It comes to secret still.
All right, what else does he do?
He does nothing. He's a commissar. But he owns, wait till you hear it. He owns Red Star, a horse which is running in the race tomorrow.
Oh, well, this is indeed something. The Commissar of Sports owning a horse on the sly.
I found you. Look, my boy, you must watch your step. He wants to see you.
Who wants to see me?
This commissar. He tells me if you come to the dining room to send you to his rooms, it is important. Very well, only be on your guard, my boy. Don't trust that man.
Why, thank you. I will certainly do that, Mr. Lust.
You may call me Victor.
Yeah. Well, I'll be glad to, but hey, why do you tell me this? From the way you acted in the bus the other day, I'm sure that you won't go out of your way even to put a fly in my soup.
Oh, no, I was a bit hasty the other day. I regret this. Now go. Snatch.
All right.
Talk nice and quiet, though, huh, Benny?
And when you're finished, you should come back. You're here. We should know what's happening.
You are listening to Handicap, starring Sheldon Leonard. A story of the way things could be if communism took over. A picture of what life would be like under a communist regime in an ordinary American town. A town we call Springfield, USA.
Yes?
It's me, Blossom.
Oh, come in, Blossom.
You wish to see me?
Yes. I'm curious about something, Blossom. Who do you think will win the handicap tomorrow?
Well, Commissar, since I work for the track, you understand, I don't like to dope the nags, but from what I read in all the morning bladders, the scribes are picking Defiance to laugh his way home tomorrow with maybe Red Star running a jolly second, although I doubt if Red Star can even do that good.
It may be that you and the newspaper men underestimate Red Star, comrade.
Oh, no, Commissar, no, because if anything, I overestimate him. Why, that old plug, he can't walk 9 furlongs, let alone run so far. And even if he could run 9 furlongs, he can't run it fast enough to get up a sweat. In fact, if all the other nags stand still, the chances are that it will be all Red Star can do to finish last.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I take it you expect Defiance to win.
Well, as I say before, Commissar, I don't wish to express any opinions, but the way I figure it, the only way that Defiance can lose is to have somebody shoot him at the quarter pole. Of course, nobody's shooting horses at the quarter pole here at Hialeah, although many citizens often feel like shooting a few horses at the half.
So you think most of the smart money will go on Defiance? Is that it?
No, not most. All of it.
In that case, we shall break precedent and post odds. With one minor deviation, of course. I shall expect you to keep the odds on Red Star at a deceptive figure.
Well, that will not be too hard to do, Commissar, as I don't believe there'll be many who will bet on such a bangtail.
On the contrary, there will be several of us betting rather heavily on Red Star. Personal friends of mine, people rather high in party circles.
All right, that's your business, Commissar. But if my bankroll is not lower than the title's vest buttons at present, I would put everything that I have on Defiance. Even if it's just maybe a deuce or a finiff.
You would only lose it, Blossom, because Red Star is going to win the handicap. It's assured, believe me. I'm certain you've seen sponges of this sort before.
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
And you know, of course, how such sponges in a horse's nostrils can affect his running.
Yeah, they'll shut off his wind or maybe even rupture the blood vessels in his nose.
Precisely. And you will agree, I expect, that not even a horse of Defiance's caliber could win the handicap under such a handicap.
No, I guess it couldn't.
You know it couldn't. Now then, is it clear what you're to do tomorrow?
Yeah, it is.
That will be all, then. Oh, and Blossom, I do hope you won't be so unwise as to tell anyone about this. You might regret it.
Stands, the Commissar not only wins the 50,000 place, but he also makes a killing on the long shot odds that I am to give Red Star at the last minute.
And poor Miss Blodgett, what becomes of her? Her horse is ruined for racing, perhaps dies from infection.
Excuse me, Benny, but what is your reason for telling us this? You must have an idea for doing something. Now, if I can help you, I will.
Thanks, Handicapper.
So what's wrong with me already? I can't help. I'm too old, too sick or something. So I'll help too.
All right. But I want to warn you, if this don't work, the chances are we will end up in a sneezer for quite some years. In fact, it's also quite possible they might put the finger on us. Especially that Commissar. He's such a guy, he won't give you the right time if he had 2 watches. So, if anyone wishes to back out, now's the time. Thanks, boys. Personally, I don't intend to give you any of that acamarakas about how I appreciate this, but I am sure that if Miss Isabel Blodgett knows what you are doing for her, she will thank you from the bottom of her heart. Now listen, here is what we do.
What's taking you so long, Barber? I haven't all day.
Excuse me, Commissar, but the water is not hot enough to save you. Maybe if you could come down to the barber shop.
Without my trousers? Why do you suppose I had you come up here?
You want me to go find a tailor, Commissar?
No, I do not. If I want you to go anywhere, I'll tell you. Well, there you are. Where are my trousers?
Well, Commissar, you know how it is. Our equipment is so run down these days. You got to press a pair of pants, it burns a hole in them.
What?
So I'll press another pair. You shouldn't get excited. Please, this time I'll use an
You
iron.
blundering fool. I'll have you...
Don't you know you shouldn't yell like that when there's a sharp razor at your throat, Commissar? Now, suppose I slip, it would kill you.
You wouldn't dare.
Who told you that?
From Defiance to win.
Yeah.
I said $2 to win. You give me a $5 ticket.
Oh, what do you know? So I did. Excuse me, but I keep making that mistake all day now. Well, you just keep it.
But
Ah, go on. Look, friend, why do you complain? You can't possibly lose. Now, go away, will you? Go away.
But
Vic, did you get into the stable wearing sponges?
I'm sorry, my boy. I tried everything you said, but they had guards all over the place. When I tried to get to Defiance, they beat me with their rifles.
Oh, no.
I failed you, my boy.
Oh. Well, that's all right, Victor. I just hate to see Miss Isabel Blodgett's face when our horse loses.
We had better be going, my boy. It will not be very popular when the communists discover what you have done.
Well, the race is just about to begin. A couple of minutes won't hurt.
Well,
There they go. It was a good even break with Red Star going to the front and the outside. Young Pioneer is second and Party Leader third. Something seems to be wrong with Defiance. They go past the grandstand. It's a Red Star in front by 3 lengths. Young Pioneer ahead of Party Leader by a head. Defiance third by 3 lengths. At the far turn, it's Red Star in the lead by 2 lanes. Young Pioneer and Party Leader running head and head. Defiance, wait a minute. Defiance has stopped running. He's out there past the quarter pole, pawing the ground, shaking his head and snorting. And he's off again with a sudden spurt. In the back stretch, Red Star is still ahead by 2 lengths. Young Pioneer second by a head. Party Leader third. And Defiance now moving up fast on the outside. Turning for home and into the stretch. It's Red Star in front by 2 lengths. Young Pioneer second by a length and a half. And here comes Defiance third and driving hard on the inside. Moving so fast it looks as if jockey Tony Fry is holding on for dear life. Now second by a length and still moving up is Defiance. It's Red Star still ahead by a length. Red Star by a half a length. It's Red Star and Defiance. Red Star and Defiance. Red Star by a head. Red Star and Defiance. It's Red Star and Defiance. It's Defiance and Red Star. Defiance and Red Star. Defiance coming down the line to finish. It's Defiance by a length and pulling away. And Defiance wins in a brilliant lunge at the finish. Defiance thundered through the wind by 1 length. Red Star second and Young Pioneer third. It was a good race.
Benny, he did it.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah. Well, I think we can go now, Victor.
Not running off, were you, comrades? Well, you seem surprised to see me. You know, you shouldn't have entrusted such an important part of your plan to a tailor and a barber. They lost their nerve. They should have killed me, but they couldn't. It's a weakness all of you anti-communists have. You're chicken-hearted. Too many scruples. Well, you discover that we are not burdened in that way. Shut all the ticket windows, disperse the crowds. There'll be no payoff on Defiance.
Yes, Commissar. Commissar,
Yes, what is it?
they've brought the jockey.
Bring him in.
It was my fault, Commissar. I put in the sponges like you said. He blew them out just past the quarter pole.
You could have held him back.
Oh, I tried, so help me. You could see that, couldn't you? He wouldn't obey me.
Yeah, why do you think Miss Isabel Blodgett calls that nag Defiance, Commissar? She calls him that because he has a reputation for not taking orders from commies.
Let her in. Yes, Comrade Blodgett?
Well, why have you arrested my jockey? What did he... What? Mr. Blossom, are you...
Yeah, it begins to look that way, Miss Blodgett.
But why?
I don't know, I guess I picked the wrong time to turn a new leaf. Hey, Commissar, You see, she wasn't in on this, so you don't have to hold her.
How chivalrous of you, Blossom. Very well. Banning, get her out of here.
But,
Come on.
Mr. Blossom.
Commissar, I'd like to say something to Miss Blodgett, if I may.
Shut up, you.
No, let him speak. I should like to hear this. I'm certain it will be just terribly touching.
Don't mind him, Mr. Blossom. What is it you wish to say to me?
Just wish to say that I love you, Miss Blodgett. So I don't mind so much what happens now. But if I had it to do all over again, I think I would be a very solid citizen indeed, and if you'd have me, I'd marry you. You'd be my ever-loving wife. We'd have a little place in the country near Belmont or maybe Saratoga. We'd raise little bangtails together. Then the odds are I'd probably be like all the other solid citizens and put up a fight when the commies take over. And as I say once before, all 100% Americans are the ones who die to stay that way. So, since it'd be just the same any way I do it, I don't mind so much what happens now. I'm just happy that I get to know you and I have the chance to say that I love you. That's all I want to say, Miss Blodgett.
Oh.
Spare us the tears, please. Take her away, Banning. Now then, Blossom, I think it is fitting that you get one last chance to ply your trade. Open one of the windows, please.
What for?
Why, to pay off the Red Star ticket holders, of course. That is, those who also hold party cards.
Oh. What are the odds?
Odds? Let me see. I think 10 to 1 should do. Yes, I think 10 to 1 should do very nicely.
You have just heard a story of what would happen to all sporting events if communism took over. You think this could not happen? It did happen at the racetrack outside of Warsaw in Poland, where the state took over, where the management was officially prohibited from losing money, where the odds were never posted until after a race, and where the stony-faced militiamen with Tommy guns stood by to keep the peace. It did happen in Czechoslovakia at the Prague track. There, after granting licenses and encouraging public betting, the secret police swooped down and confiscated the daily take. Instead of becoming the sport of the people, the sport of kings has become merely the sport of the party favorites. You've been listening to If Freedom Failed, starring Sheldon Leonard as Benny in Handicap. Music was composed by Earl Lawrence with musical direction by Michel Perrier. Handicap was written for If Freedom Failed by John Vlahos, produced and directed by Robert M. Young. Sergeant Lloyd Iyer speaking. This program has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.